Welcome to the Super GT300 Online Championship. We are now racing at Daytona. Let's take a look at the grid. Da Vinci had pole in front of a Filipino, Logic Line. Then Yona, that had a wonderful qualifying session. Then Karsten, Smiley, Snake, Mab, Skank, Flanked, Tobias, Graven, Pickers and Ninjitsu Evolved, a newcomer to this series. Let's go to the starting grid. We are watching Karsten. This banked start is quite dangerous. Let's see how Karsten will manage. Karsten managed it perfectly, was touched behind by Snake that had an all-wheel drive car. Oh, all cars quite close to each other, tapping here and there, everywhere. A great start from Mab. He was a little aggressive, but I think nothing too big. Same Yona had another good start. Smiley had an incredible start too. Let's see, battling with, I think that is Yona. Yes. Yona tries to outbrake him, going side by side, touching a little. In front of them there's Mab with the fast but twitchy Garaya. Let's see what will happen when they reach the chicane at the end of the banked turn. Behind them there's Karsten, and everything smoothly. Yes, no problems here. The Imprezas tend to cut a little too much in that part of the track at the chicane, making use of grass, but I haven't seen nothing worth a penalty, to say so. Here we are watching Yona and Flanked battling each other. The RX-7 were really fast, even with power penalties. This was a track that suited them. Unluckily for the RX-7 drivers, most of them had some kind of power penalties, and here we are watching Yona and Flanked fighting side by side for 6th position. Beautiful. And here we have Logic Line that had a great pace. And here is following Da Vinci really close. Logic Line had pace, had speed. He was consistent here. He would have almost certainly got a podium if it wasn't for an engine problem that struck him something like 20 minutes into the race. We are now on lap 3, Flanked and Smiley fighting each other. RX-7 is faster than Impreza on strides, and making use of some draft is really helping Flanked here, that will easily manage to pass the Subaru. We are after the chicane, approaching last corner. Here Flanked passed, going just behind Yona, touching Yona behind, then touching with Smiley. Quite a dangerous place, this turn 1. Here Smiley tapping the guardrails and letting through Flanked. On lap 4, Logic, aggressive at the chicane, following Da Vinci. Da Vinci had a not perfect out of this chicane, and Logic easily drafts him, and at half of the stride manages to pass him. Will he manage to defend from him? Let's see at the end of the stride. Logic Line goes for the inside. Da Vinci stays really wide. Everything okay, seems. Approaching the break point, and everything was nice. So we have Karsten, Smiley and Snake. We are on board with Karsten. Smiley was pressing over Snake, and when cars were close on the chicane, a lot of dust would raise up, so a mistake was quite easily to happen. Behind them there was Skank that was trying to get the best out of his drafting opportunities to stick to the front of the grid. He was doing a great work actually. Here Smiley almost losing car, while approaching turn 1. Here is a good chance for Karsten with his extra horsepower to press on Smiley. Let's see, and yes, he plunges in a couple of taps. Let's see if Smiley manages to out-accelerate Karsten. Seems no. Karsten had a really conservative first laps, way slower pace than usual, trying to avoid contacts and crashes. On lap 5, Mab, that was in 4th position if I'm not mistaken, he was overdriving himself and loses it at the chicane, easily the most dangerous part of the track. Let's see him approaching, braking, touching too much curb and jumping and losing car. Then getting back on track, but out accelerating on dirty tires and smashing against the wall and losing positions, precious positions, up to 11th place. On lap 7 there's Karsten and Flankhead battling. Flankhead had a not perfect inside this turn, and here a little wide while exiting the chicane, so Karsten has a good chance to draft him and get away. Let's see. Even with 20 horsepower penalty, the Mazda is incredibly fast. Nothing to say about that. Let's see. At the end of turn 1, Skeng really close behind these two. A small tap, touching again. No one of the two wants to lift off, and Karsten manages to pass. Behind them, Skeng took advantage of all the in battle. And here on lap 8 we have Smiley and Skeng, both on power penalties. And Skeng a little wide, and Smiley makes good use of his car and outpaces him. And it's about to turn today. Night is ending, sun is starting to shine, and at this chicane everything goes smoothly. A nice pass complete by Smiley. And here we have Mab and Gavin. Mab touching Gavin at chicane. It was something like overdrafting him, I think. Quite dangerous under braking. Nothing bad happened. But now there's the fast Garaya that has no problem passing Gavin on the inside at the end of the straight. A small tap from Gavin. Dangerous situations, but all drivers managed it well. Well done, Mab. He was getting back up in position. And here we have Filipino and Da Vinci. Sun shining on lap 18, and Philly pressure is brought to result after Da Vinci made a small mistake at the chicane, and Filipino manages to pass through and completes a clean pass. On lap 22, Snakelet was right now in third position, my bad, loses his car and positions to Karsten and Yona, both of them. On lap 31, Karsten was behind Yona. What happened? He got stuck in pits yet again, another time, lost something like 15 seconds here and a few more seconds on second stint, so he had to re-overtake both. Here he had a great exit of the chicane, so Yona has little to do besides letting him through and drafting him back. On lap 36 we are watching Ninjitsu, Flanked, while on board with Skang, and here we have Ninjitsu losing car. Quite scary for Skang, I think. On lap 40, again Carsten and Yona battling. They had quite beautiful battles along the whole race. It was entertaining. I hope it was for Yona too. On lap 33, Filipino and Da Vinci. Filipino is in first position right now, and here is where he loses his lead on the race. Just a little, how to call it, little unsure on chicane, allows Da Vinci to draft him and pass. An outstanding performance from Da Vinci with head power penalty, and Filipino that had I think easily his best race so far. A really well deserved second position, could have won actually. And here we have Mab and Smiley point of view of this thing on the left that I think is called Tobias. You can see cars going in the grass, a lot of smoke. Let's see what happened with Smiley. And it is Tobias entering without watching and losing car on the banked turn. Oh, not a good move, Tobias. Warning coming. And now we are at last lap. A dramatic finish indeed. We are on board with Yona. In front of him there's Carsten. Carsten was a little low on fuel and was short shifting, trying to save fuel. And here on the left we had the Snake that was in third position that completely finished its fuel quite earlier. So Yona right now is in fourth position, Carsten in third. But that is not the end of the excitement for Carsten. Something like 100 meters from the end finishes his fuel too, and Yona, the luckiest of all drivers this week, manages to snatch a third place by something like 8 tenths of a second in front of him. And this is the final results. We have Da Vinci that won, followed by Filipino, Yona, Carsten, Flanked, Skang, Snake, Mab that had a good recover, Smiley that was injured by that accident, Ninjutsu, Gueven, Vickers, and in last place Tobias. This is all for this week. Thank you for listening. See you on track again.